Welcome to the podcast, Let the Prophet Speak. This is Yeshayahu, Isaiah 32b, studying today from verse 9 through 20. Yeshayahu, in the previous part of this chapter, discussed the future king, the king of the future, the one who will be just and righteous and lead the people towards becoming better people, becoming intelligent, people learning about God, people learning about ethics and morals and how to treat the poor and so on. However, Yeshayahu is going to tell us today that there's going to be a long road until we get there, and a long and difficult one. And he turns, as he has turned time and time again, for those that have been following this podcast until now, to the women who will be the ones who are faithful and stick with it, the ones that they'll be trustworthy, the ones who will be the base upon which the Jewish people will be able to make it through the tough times. The women and the children are the two groups, and the poor and the downtrodden are the three groups actually. And then at some points he also mentioned the faithful prophets, the ones who stuck with God and taught the people. So today he turns to the women. I'm going to tell you now that my understanding of this portion comes from a discussion that I had with my father, Rabbi Tzvi Hirsch Weinreb, who's also one of the master translators of Tanakh today, having published many translations of these wonderful ancient works. And this is a somewhat of a different understanding than most of the commentaries have. So I hope you enjoy this, and I'd be interested to see what your comments are. Noshim sha'ananos. You women who are at peace. He's speaking now to the women that are living in a time of bounty, a good time. And look, now you are at peace. Komna, stand up, Shemana Koli. Listen to my voice. Banos Botchos, you daughters who are trustworthy. Ha'azena Imrasi, listen to what I have to tell you. Yomim al Shana, in about a year or so, Tirgazna Botchos. You confident ones, you solid ones, you are going to be shaking, you are going to tremble, you are going to have trouble. Ki cholovatzir osef beli yavo. The harvests will stop coming in, and the gathering of grain will not come like it used to. Chirdu sharanos. Tremble, shake, those of you who are at peace now. Rigozabotchos. Again, tremble, those of you who are confident and trustworthy. Pishotav ora, take off your clothes v'chagora and gird yourself al cholatzayim, around your waist. Get ready, tighten up your clothes and get ready for the tough times to come. Yeshayahu is emphasizing here how during the tough times it is so important to remain faithful and remain solid and keep working and keep trying. Chagora al cholatzayim, get ready for those times, because that is the difference between the fickle and the false and the untrustworthy people and the ones who are trustworthy, the ones who are going to have the people of Yehuda, the faithfulness in God, last throughout the tough times. Al Shadayim Softim, lament, say hesped, say eulogies on your breasts. Al stechemed, over those wonderful fields that you used to have. Al gefen poria, and the fruitful grapevines that you used to have in the vineyards. Because al admas ami, on the land of my nation, coats shamir tal, that it's going to be growing thorns. Ki al kol vatema sos, on all of those homes that are full of happiness now. Kirya aliza, on the capital city which is so full of joy. Ki armonu tosh, the towers are going to be smashed. Hamon iruz, of the multitudes of people that live in the city is going to be abandoned. Ofel v'vachan hoya, it's going to become like a bear, be'ad aros ad olam, like a place for caves and pastures, misos pra'im irei adarim, where the wild animals will graze. There's destruction coming. Be ready. And he turns to the women because why? People are going to look to you for strength in those times. So be ready for that. Ad ye'areh aleinu rach mimarom, until one day, God will finally pour upon us His Spirit from on high. V'hayamid bar lachamel, and finally the desert will start turning into farmland. The Carmel and the farmland, La Yaryeh Chashev, will be like a forest. In other words, what you used to think was farmland, it won't even be that fruitful, because you used to think that the farmland that you have now will be so fruitful that what you used to think was farmland will be like just a forest. V'shochan bamidbar mishpat, and what will you have in this land, this desert, which is now a beautiful farmland? There will be justice, utzdaka, and righteousness. Bakarmel teshev, in the farmland you will have righteousness. V'yom maseh hatzdaka shalom, and what will righteousness bring? It will bring peace. V'avodas hatzdaka, and the work of righteousness, when you work in righteousness, what do you have? Hashket v'vetach ad olam, you'll have silence and peace and confidence, real trust, forever and ever. And my nation will then live in peaceful dwelling places, in wonderful homes that are full of peace, and in secure homes that are secure of the menuchos sha'ananos, and the places that are full of rest and full of peace. Uvorad, and this next verse is often translated in many different ways by different commentators. Uvorad, and when, and it's often mistakenly, I believe, at least, translated as hail. Some of the commentators use the hail from the Hebrew word barad, which is a 3-letter root, bet resh dalet. However, the Malbim translates it differently, and I'm going to go with his translation and use that translation to look at this pasuk in a completely different way. Uvarad, and during the times of down, when things go down, beredes hayar, when that forest is going down, in other words, the suffering of the land is happening, like I described before. Uvashifla, and in the lowly times, tishbal ha'ir, and the city was down, the people were down. Ashreichem, praised are you, Zorei al Kalmayim, those of you that plant no matter what the situation is with water. Those of you that plant even when it was down, even during those down times. Those of you, Mishalchei Regel Ashar V'Chamor, that put out your oxen and your donkeys to work, even when all you had was a little bit of water, even during those times that were down. A metaphor for those people that stick with God and work through the times even when they're bad. You, Ashreichem, you are the ones that are praised, because you are the ones that are going to help the people get through those tough times to get to the time of Ad Ye'ora Aleinu Rachmi Marom, that God will pour His goodness from above. Thank you so much for studying chapter 32 with us. Looking forward to studying together chapter 33.